April showers didn't bring many May flowers, and the last 21 games for the Phils have been ominous in the form of results. Little to no time can be spent on the troubles of the past, because the present brings the first place Rockies and Mark Reynolds to Citizens Bank Park for an extended 4-day stay. After 9 games on the road, the Phils were not happy that it was cloudy and rainy earlier today, but things have cleared out, and the ballpark is getting itself ready for a series against the Colorado Rockies. It's game 1 of a 4-game set. Now, the last several weeks have not gone well for the Phils, in particular the 9-game road trip in which they were 2-7, averaged just under 3.5 runs per game. The starters didn't go deep enough, and the bullpen, well, the bullpen didn't hold up its end of the bargain as well. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, along with John Kruk. We'll talk about the Phillies' struggles, obviously, during the course of tonight's telecast. But you've got to turn the page quickly because they're taking on probably one of the surprise teams in all of baseball, in particular the National League and the Colorado Rockies.
Yeah, and they're pitching well. We always knew they could hit, but their pitching's been really good. But this offense is so dynamic, Tom. They have power throughout the lineup. You see what their numbers are. One of the best offenses in the National League, and they can field the ball, too. Tied for first in fielding percentage. But you think about Nolan Arenado, you think about Carlos Gonzalez, Charlie Blackmon, but the guy that's leading this team is Mark Reynolds, and he was kind of an afterthought for these Colorado Rockies. If he and Desmond didn't get hurt, he might not be here, but he's putting up huge numbers. The power we know about, and it doesn't matter if it's Colorado or Philadelphia, this power plays in any ballpark, and the Phillies need to find a way to keep him in the yard.
I think that's one of the things that has really stood out is the fact that their numbers on the road are so good. Now, his overall numbers are excellent, including first in RBIs.
Yeah, and that's the thing. When you have all those guys hitting in front of him, he's not a fourth. He's hitting 5th or 6th in the lineup pretty much all the time. Those guys in front of him are on base all the time. He's getting plenty of opportunities to drive in runs. And like I said, this offense is as good as any in baseball.
All right, we'll see if the Phils can turn it around. They've had a lot of success against the Rockies in recent years. Tonight, they'll send Jared Eichhoff, amazingly looking for his first victory of the season. Jeff Hoffman, up from the minor leagues, will make the start for the Rockies. Lineups and first pitch when we return. Phillies baseball. first Phillies game today as he comes in to watch the Phils play the Rockies.
I'm assuming he just moved into town.
He must have. He came out to see Jared Eichhoff, who's making the start here tonight, looking for his first victory of the season. Let's take a look at the Rockies lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. Well, this is a good offensive lineman. I think that's an understatement. You got Blackman hitting over 300, Reynolds hitting over 300, Amaristo over 300. Walters just off the disabled list is over 300. And then right on the doorstep is LeMahieu and Arenado. That's a good lineup facing Jared Eichhoff here tonight.
A really, really good lineup. And you know, this is a true test for Jared Eichhoff. He pitched better against Texas. The command was better, but he has to have it working today, or else this could be a short outing with his powerful Rockies lineup.
Surprising that he's 0-4. His velocity has been good. It's been consistent all year.
Yeah, average fastball velocity almost 91 miles an hour. Change curve. The curveball is the big pitch. If he's getting swings and misses with that pitch today and he's commanding his fastball, he should do well.
Well, the Rockies are off to their best start after 45 games in franchise history. Let's take a look at our keys to the game.
Well, the keys to the game is Jared Eichhoff has to have all his pitches working early. You know, a lot of pitchers, they wait for, you know, maybe an inning or two before they get a feel for their breaking ball. He has to have a feel for his breaking ball early, and the Phillies play fundamentally sound baseball. You can't give this team 4 outs an inning. If you do, they are going to make you pay, and pay big.
Well, here's Charlie Blackmon having a solid year. He takes the first pitch of the night. First strike, and we're underway. Oh, it's not his first game. It's the little guy's first game. That's what's going on.
That makes sense. Still could have just moved here, though.
He could have. 1 ball and 1 strike to Blackmon. Blackmon hitting .319 with 9 home runs, 33 runs batted in. Excellent numbers against the Phillies. And he's been a darn good leadoff hitter. I don't know if you want to call him a prototypical leadoff hitter, but then who is anymore?
Yeah, that's gone out of the way, gone by the wayside. That, you know, he's our leadoff guy. He's going to work counts. He's going to draw walks, and he's going to slap the ball the other way. He might slap the other way. He might go out of the ballpark.
There's a good curve, and it's 2-2.
That's nice to see right there. First curveball today on a 2-1 pitch to Charlie Blackmon, leadoff hitter, and he gets a called strike on it.
Another one swung on and missed. And a strikeout to start the ball game for Jared Eichhoff. So 1 away here in the first. Time now for our cold hard fact, brought to you by Clean Crisp Coors Light. Well, the Rockies are not only doing it at home, which people always say offensively they're very good, but also on the road. They're 15-7 on the road.
Yeah, you know, this is a good team, and they have good hitters. You know, before they just used to load up with the bashers, you know, try to hit it out of the ballpark, and it worked well with Coors, but not on the road. But these guys can hit. I mean, they are really, really good hitters.
Oh, 8th overall in baseball at 262. And Bud Blackett, his first year here with Colorado. Got his 10th year overall as a manager. Spent 9 years with the Padres. Outs to the third. Big hop for Maikel Franco. 2 outs. And here is Nolan Arenado. Who last year could have been the best player in the National League. 41 home runs, 133 RBIs.
See that black eye, though. Right eye got a little shine runner there. Billy Hamilton chopped one off the plate, and he tried to barehand it and glanced off his hand and hit him in the eye.
Well, that's way more bruised than it was last night after the incident happened.
Long flight.
He just tried to widen it a little bit. And a liner out toward left field, and Aaron Altair will stay with it. And it turns out to be a relatively quick inning for Jared Eichhoff. He threw 9 pitches. That'll take us to the bottom of the first. The Phillies coming up for the first time. Go of it recently. Let's see if they can get it rolling tonight. Their lineup brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. All right, some changes to the lineup even tonight. We've seen a lot of them on the road trip. Saunders bats 8th. Odubel Herrera is in the lineup tonight. A lot of people wondered if he wouldn't be after not running out that ball in yesterday's game. Well, he's batting 6th now for the Phils. Phil's trying to get somebody over that 300 mark and just find some consistency with this young team against a young pitcher.
Yeah, and you know, Pete Buchanan has his hands tied with so many guys struggling at the same time. You know, he's just trying to mix and match and trying to come up with some sort of magic formula that will get them off the schneid and get a win. But, you know, this young man here, fastball velocity, 91, curve slider change. First-round draft pick of the Blue Jays, so you know he's got something in that arm.
Yeah, the Rockies picked him up in the Troy Tulowitzki deal, and the first pitch from him is in there for a strike to Cesar.
95. I read the scouting report on him. He said he averaged about 94.9.
Oh, and he's getting stronger as he's getting older, too. 24 years old. As that curveball wraps around the plate, 1-1.
That's something I'm not a fan of.
What's that?
He just throws a 95 fastball for a strike, and now it's showing me my curveball, too.
Yeah, I kind of like I'm with you. I kind of like it when a pitcher establishes his fastball and just keeps on firing it until they show they can hit it. Cesar was 3 for 12 with 3 runs scored in the Pirates series. And even though he's at 296, he too has scuffled somewhat here in the month of May. That one's off the hands, caught by Arenado. The Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Kelly Hayes of Philadelphia. Phil's hit a home run in tonight's ball game. Kelly will win $300. Now at McDonald's, an ice cold delicious soft drink is only $1. I'm loving it.
Have you ever seen that?
What's that? Anything that soft like that?
No. Arenado with 2 strikes on Cesar is still playing even with the bat.
Oh, that's a good point. I didn't even realize that.
Must have knew something.
He's also a very gifted defender.
Oh. And you know, he gets lost with the Trout, Harper, Machado, Bryant. He's as good as any of them. I mean, this young man can play. Yeah, look at him. I mean, he's standing right there by the grass. Look where he's standing. Now he's in the grass with 2 strikes.
Freddie whacks it foul, 1-1.
Just when you're firing up gold gloves on the mantle, you can play wherever you want, right?
Probably won't lose that honor in the foreseeable future.
I can't see it. I've never seen anything like it.
Galva's hitting .255, 4 homers, 24 runs batted in. Out toward left field. And Parra ventures back. 2 away.
Now you've done a lot of games here on a day like this, where it's been raining all day. Does the ball carry?
Not the way it would normally carry on this day in past years. You know, the 3rd week of May, usually it's much warmer, bright sunshine, and the ball will start to jump, but it doesn't carry as much. Current conditions, temperatures in the 60s to start today's game.
2-mile-an-hour wind could be a club and a half different, huh?
Trying to be as descriptive as possible, Johnny.
Yeah, hey, they nailed it.
Outside, 1-1, Altair. 1 for 12 in the series against the Pirates. He did drive in 3 runs. First time this year, though, at least since the first week, that he's been under 300. 96, good spot.
This guy has a build. Hoffman has a build like Jacob deGrom a little bit, like long-legged.
He does have that sort of lean look.
Yeah, he doesn't have the moss though. He doesn't have the deGrom moss. I mean, pretty standard. You know, just that little step back and a little bit of a drop and drive. You see how that right knee bends a little bit. Not quite as much as Tom Seaver in the day. Had to wear a knee pad.
It remains 2-2 to Altair. There's a good chance that Hoffman is up for just this one start. The reason that he's starting tonight is because the Rockies had a doubleheader that sort of backed up their rotation. So they just needed somebody to fill this void. On the outside corner, strike 3 called. So the Phils go down in order. In their half of the first, we are on to the second. Both pitchers dominating their half of the first inning. The Rockies and all fans coming to the ballpark will receive that cap right there. It's compliments of Teva. It's Teva Respiratory Night at Citizens Bank Park. You can get tickets right now by going to Phillies.com. Maybe get yourself a hoagie too. That guy's loading up. Selling primos out in Ashburn Alley here at Citizens Bank Park.
Looked like he went for the full one. Wasn't going halfsies on that one, was he?
Yeah,
look at that bad boy.
Nobody there to help him out. Can't blame him. The ball's in 1 strike to Gonzalez.
Camo hat and a foot-long sandwich. What can beat it? How do you think this offense is going to be when he gets going?
Well, that's part of it too. You know, we read a few weeks ago when they were in first place, there were guys that were hitting even better than they are now, except for him, and they said, you know, they were saying the same type of thing. And he hits the Phillies well, and he starts the second off with a single to center field. That was a curveball that just hung up there.
Yeah, 221's not in his range. His bat stays through the hitting zone for so long. He should never be hitting 221. That's his leg kick. Gets the foot down early, but look how long his bat stays through the zone. And I mean, he sees that breaking ball, and you see how he slowed up his upper body just so his bat would be able to catch up, and he wasn't out in front.
Well, speaking of being in the zone a long time, here's Mark Reynolds, who's been in the zone the whole year. Takes a slider on the outside corner. Now he's 0 for his last 6, but that has not discouraged the month of May, where he's hit .361. He's a guy that will always strike out. I think if you want the power, you just have to look past it.
Yeah, and you know, that's the thing. But he's hitting over 300 this year, which is not normally where he's at. The power's there, but he plays a great first base. He's a great defender.
Outside corner 0-2. I always thought he was a pretty good third baseman too.
Very good, but I mean, he really turned himself into a good first baseman, I think, when he went to Baltimore.
Career strikeouts, he's among the active leaders. Beltran's got a few years on him with his total.
Yeah, I mean, he said it when he was with Arizona. You know, look, a strikeout's an out. That's the way he's looking at it. Just another out. But if I strike out 200 times, but I hit 30, 40 homers, we're going to have to live with it.
Well, he leads the National League in RBIs with 39. Popped him up. Rupp and Franco are in the vicinity. And one away now for Gerardo Parra. Parra is the fourth outfielder when the season began, but because of injuries, he was given a chance to start and play just about every day. Now with Ian Desmond back and Reynolds playing so well at first base, Parra's numbers have slipped a little bit, and so has his batting average. Last 16 games, you see he's hitting under 200.
It's going to be tough. Desmond put up a really good year last year in Texas. He didn't know how he was going to do from moving from shortstop to playing the outfield on a regular basis, and Colorado actually brought him over to be their first baseman.
Curveball slipped, and it's 1-1. Parra's had a decent career, though. First with the Diamondbacks, and now with the Rockies. He's won a Gold Glove. .274 lifetime hitter.
That's tough. You're going to be our fourth outfielder. You wonder if he could be a trade piece in another month or so.
Well, that should be two. There's one. Soft toss to second base, but still time to turn the double play. Well, you mentioned it, John. The Phillies needed to tighten up their defense, and certainly a double play helps the pitcher, and obviously will help this middle infield get themselves rolling. It was hit sharply, and Cesar was able to turn it quick enough to finish off the 6-4-3 double play. Phillies game. Get the CSN Phillies Sports app, the NBC Sports app. What do you got to do? You got to log in, put your provider in, and then bam, your games are popping up. You can watch the Phils and the Rockies. Live stream every CSN Phillies game on the go. Bottom of the second, Phillies and the Rockies scoreless. Tommy Joseph, Maikel Franco, and Odubel Herrera will lead it off. Tommy's kind of turned things around, John, since the last time you saw him.
Yeah, he started getting hot here, swinging the bat pretty well, and it's good to see. You know, he had a big year last year with the power, and look, if they can continue I know Altair's struggling a little bit now, but if you can keep these guys at 3 and 4 and they keep producing like they have been, and there's part of your offensive issues taken care of.
1 ball and 1 strike to Joseph, and he takes a breaking ball, 1-2. Tommy was 1 for 8 in the series against the Pirates.
I think Tommy's going to notice, so he's going to get pitched differently hitting 4th than he is hitting 6th or 7th.
That one's hooked out toward left center field. Boy, you got that toward the end of the bat, and it went a pretty good distance. And 1 away. Maikel Franco's coming up. Well, we mentioned that Hoffman is 24 years old, and they just brought him up for the minor leagues. Murph, he's not the youngest guy in this rotation. This is a young, up-and-coming rotation for the Rockies.
It absolutely is, Tom. And if I told you that the Rockies offense right now is having their 3rd least productive year in franchise history, and I added in the fact that they have the youngest rotation in baseball, you would probably think to yourself, well, they're probably not in the hunt. Well, they have the best record in the National League, 28-17. How are they doing it? Well, this young rotation is getting it done. And their front office over the last couple of years has really taken some heat because they've always tried to be a team that basically just outslugs everybody. They play in that thin air in Colorado. That's how they built their team. But they made a concerted effort over the last couple of years to start trying to do it a more traditional way. As that one is a line shot right to Arenado. But they try to be a little more traditional and work around and getting good pitching and building around that and just expecting that the offense will kind of fall into its place. And it's working this season. You saw the numbers. There are 2 guys that are 22, one 24-year-old, a 25, and a 27-year-old making up the rotation right now. And 3 of them are rookies, including the guy that's on the mound. So they have a lot of young talent in their minor leagues. They have other guys that they believe will make an impact soon. So all of a sudden, the Rockies, not that offensive juggernaut that we once thought of them, but they're able to do it with the arms.
Yeah, it's always been this blueprint. Well, it's been a difficult blueprint to kind of figure out if you're Colorado. There were years where they went out and signed big-name free agents thinking that they would get sinker ballers that would keep the ball in the ballpark in Colorado. I like this route, to take chances on some of the young kids, kind of like what the Phillies are doing, too.
Yeah, you get young pitching, especially power arms. You would think that they'd be able to pitch anywhere. I mean, this kid's, we talked about between innings, it's an easy 95, 96. And I'm sure if he needs it in a situation where it calls for it, he could probably get it, another mile or two harder.
1 ball, 1 strike to Odubel, and that's at the knees. Well, there you go. There's a mile more, 97.
With movement.
Well, the other part of it, which we'll talk about as the series goes on, because it's a 4-game series, their bullpen has been so good that has really helped this young staff this year. Bouncer right back to the box, and Odubel will be retired, 1-3. 6 up, 6 down for Hoffman. And we have played our first 2 innings here in Philadelphia. 1 hit for the Rockies, nothing for the Phils. We'll go to the 3rd. FansFan.com. Go to the fans section for all the information. Please submit your answer on the subject line. All right, John, here we go. What is Bud Black's real first name? I have to admit, I never knew this. What is his real first name?
I can honestly say I have no clue either.
Well, I'll get you a hint later on. There he is. Unless you want to run down and ask him. He was around the Padres for a long time. There was a chance he was going to the Nationals before Dusty Baker took that job, but those conversations broke down, which then caused him to sit out another year and eventually go to Colorado. Amarista takes the first pitch outside. Playing shortstop tonight, hitting .340. He had 5 hits against the Reds, but his time at shortstop is probably winding down. Trevor Story, who's not having a storybook year offensively, is about to come back. He played today in his last rehab start.
Story with the storybook, huh?
I think it's been used before. I just figured I'd run it out there.
Probably the first time Murph's heard it, though, so we'll go with it. Yeah, Trevor Story just can't stay healthy, kind of.
Back toward the middle, and that'll be a base hit for Amarista. Well, this Thursday, when the Phils wrap up this series against the Rockies, a reminder it's a 105 Citizens Bank Business Person Special. And after the ball game, seniors 55 and older are invited to go out onto the field and stroll the bases. Visit Phillies.com for more information or to order. Tony Walters, who just recently came off the concussion list, the 10-day disabled list with a concussion. Rockies also have Ryan Hannigan, who was with the Phillies in spring training. He is their backup catcher, or one of their catchers.
It's nice when you have your starting shortstop goes down and they plug a guy in that's hitting .340.
Well, they've used in the outfield a lot this year too, Amarista. One ball and one strike.
They still use the humidor out there?
They do.
Can we get a tour of that? I've never seen
one.
one.
We walk by it every day.
Do we?
Yeah.
Can you walk in?
We could probably make that happen. Are you on that trip in August?
Yep. Very impressed.
One ball and one strike. That one's a little soft liner just over the outstretched glove of Galvis. And that'll be a base hit for Walters. Boy, that ball hung up there for a long time. Freddie was really trying to gauge his leap.
I think he timed it well. You see Freddie, white shoes on. I mean, that's pretty much the apex of his jump. But I'm assuming Freddie could probably dunk a basketball with that leap. Let's hope he didn't hurt his back.
He's rubbing his hip there on the front and the back side. And now it'll bring Hoffman to the plate. Charlie Blackmon relaying the signs. People helping people.
Let me guess. You're bunting.
Bunt it toward third.
Yeah.
And he bunts it foul past Tommy Joseph. That would have been terrible.
Good thing it was foul. That'd have been a double.
Yeah.
Got some good wood on that bunt. Yeah, it's not textbook. Look, yeah, when the barrel of the bat's by your chest, it's a pretty good chance it ain't going fair.
That's how you got to hurt yourself too. Butted right in front of the plate, and it's foul. 0-2. 0 for 11 in his big league career. 0 for 3 as you saw this year. Well, it was foul because it hit him.
So he almost had a double.
Right.
Then he bunts one off his knee.
He might as well just take one here. He's going to hurt himself.
You'd hope you wouldn't throw something he can get down, but
well, there you go.
Be darned.
Eichhoff will throw him out. It'll put runners on second and third. 1-4 on the sacrifice.
Yeah, that's too good a pitch. Look, you can tell he was having struggles bunting, and I mean it's a curveball. I mean you saw how he raised up and then came back down to get it, but I think a curveball is the easiest pitch to bunt. Not that I was a great bunter, but it's already deadened for you. I mean, they should have tried to go fastball in.
Because he probably would have jabbed at it.
Oh yeah, or down and away. This is where if you're Eichhoff, you know what? If you can't get a strikeout, give him 1 run, but don't give him 2.
Popped him up off the third base line. Franco in foul territory, and it's out of play. Ooh.
Is that Murph?
I hope not. Murph is a little under the weather, but he's not as foggy as that guy probably feels right now. Now he wants the baseball.
Yeah, I want the baseball. What's wrong with that?
Well, I don't know if you would have dove like this guy just did.
No, I don't think I would have.
I don't know where he went.
Oh, but don't they sell them in the gift store?
Ground ball foul. 0-2. Here you go, Murph.
That one was a little closer.
Yeah.
Which side's he on tonight?
We cannot tell you.
No.
Mixing it up, John.
Well, you have a good first step, Murph. I didn't see you.
Blackman last time up went down on strikes and a curveball. Marista's over at third base and Walters at second. Upstairs 1-2.
Show me fastball 0-2 and see if we go back to the breaking ball.
Yeah, for the most part, his breaking ball has been better tonight. It was better against Texas in his last outing.
Wow.
We take a look at our local Tri-State GMC dealers pitch casts. It was close. That's a pretty good pitch.
That's a real good pitch.
Too good of a curveball. Fortunately, Blackman hit it foul.
He's got the eye black on too tonight.
Got to be superstition.
Got to be something. Odubel has it on. Maybe it's a center field thing.
Glare of the lights.
It has been an issue.
Fastball looped into left field. That's a fair ball, and 2 runs will score. Blackman is hustling to second base, and he'll get there standing. That's his 11th double of the year, and the Rockies take a 2-0 lead. RBIs 34 and 35 for the leadoff hitter for Colorado.
Eichhoff tried to get this fastball in, just leaked out over the center of the plate. It still jammed Blackmon, but strong enough to fist it over Franco's head down the left field line, and we're down 2-0.
Well, that sacrifice bunt certainly helped the Rockies, and now here's LeMahieu with a runner at second base. LeMahieu takes outside, 1-0. He grounded out to third on a high bouncer his first time up.
It's a large second baseman.
He is a big second baseman. In fact, when they picked him up, I don't want to say that his career had sort of dwindled in Chicago. The Rockies took a chance on picking him up, and he's turned out to be a pretty good get. Last year, he hit .348 with 11 home runs.
Plays good, solid defense.
Yep, he moves well. Runner goes, pitches a strike, throw to third is high, and Blackmon has a stolen base.
Yeah, nothing Cameron Rupp could do. Watch Blackman's jump right here. I mean, it was couple steps. Eichhoff comes set. He does one look to him, and Blackmon took off as soon as he turned his head.
The dirt, 2-1. LeMahieu last year with that batting average of .348 led the National League in hitting. And you see that he's been fairly clutch with runners at third and less than 2 outs.
Tells you how the Phillies offense has been. Pete Maccannon's got the infield in.
Over to the left side, and that'll sneak into left field, a base hit. It's 3-0 Rockies on top. An RBI single for LeMahieu, his 17th of the year. And you're right, John. It is. I think it is indicative of the way the Phillies have struggled offensively, that they wouldn't put the infield back to try to get it out and see if they can overcome a 3-run deficit.
Yeah, and you know, and if Eichhoff holds Blackmon on better and he doesn't steal third, that's an out. You might even have got Blackmon being over aggressive going to third base.
Here's the pitch location.
Yeah, you see where Cameron wants it, down and away, and it just hung over the center of the plate. Like you said, when the infield's in, you just hit it relatively hard. If it's not at someone, it's going to go through. But like I said, if Blackmon didn't steal third, that's an out somewhere.
Well, that's when you know things are going good for you, too. If you're LeMahieu with a runner at third base and the infield in. I mean, you hit what would be a routine ground ball. Turns out to be a hit.
It gets easier now. Ugh.
Arenado hit the ball right on the nose his first time up, lined out to left field, so he's 0 for 1. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
And you look at this inning for the Rockies, they got 3 runs, and probably the hardest hit ball was the bunt by Hoffman. Amarista was a grounder up the middle, and
Walters was a little lofter.
Blooper. Blackmon got jammed and fisted one to left.
That happened a lot the 2 starts ago for Eichhoff, where he fell off the mound. Whether he got his footing caught or not, they felt like they had worked on it before the Rangers game. A little mechanical flaw that would get him back over the top. Over to the left side, they'll try to get 1. And they will. Galvis throws out Arenado. 2 outs, runner at second base. Time to take a look at our State Farm combo. State Farm here to help life go right. We talk about Mark Reynolds and Carlos Gonzalez. Their career numbers, they've combined for 467 home runs. Gonzalez has been the better average hitter, but Reynolds has a few more home runs and a few more RBIs.
Yeah, well, Reynolds is, like we talked about, he's that guy that, it used to be all or nothing with him, but it seems like this year the average is, he's giving himself up a little bit to hit for a higher average, but like I said, 227, that's not this guy's range. He's going to be up near 280. Hopefully not before he leaves here.
Singled his first time up. He takes a hook, first strike, 0-1. Gonzalez 5 hits in the last 2 series. And lifted it to shallow center field. Galvis is backpedaling, says he has it. So the inning finally does come to a close, but 3-run score in the inning for the Rockies. It was a 26-pitch inning. They have 5 hits overall, 4 in the third. We'll head to the bottom of the third. Chevrolet dealers. Take a look down the 1993 memory lane, and we look at August 7th, 1993, when Johnny picked up his 1,000th career hit against the Florida Marlins. They just showed something up on the big board here. Your most embarrassing moment. Was it the funniest moment when you dove for a ball at first base and your shirt opened up, and for some reason that caused you to throw a ball errantly toward Larry Anderson, who tripped and fell?
No, my shirt came unbuttoned when I dove for the ball. Impact from
right.
Look, when Larry's pitching, you got to try to get outs any way you can.
That's
so,
right.
You give yourself up when he's pitching, and I thought I made a perfect feed, like to a normal athletic pitcher. I made a perfect feed, but Larry played it off. He tripped over the bag, and it was kind of. It was. I mean, it was.
The shirt opening up, though, had nothing to do with it.
No, well, no, no. I knew it popped open. You can feel the draft because it was in San Francisco.
Right. Candlestick, and
it's always windy there. I could feel the breeze.
Well, it was very entertaining. If only because Larry was healthy when it was over. If he had gotten hurt, it wouldn't have been as entertaining.
Oh, that'd have been more fun if he'd have got hurt.
Well,
I mean, you're friends with him, so safety first with you. But I thought it'd been kind of entertaining if he'd have twisted an ankle or something.
Fly ball down the right field line. Carlos Gonzalez is under it, and it is off the hands of a fan who did not interfere because he was in the stands.
I wonder if they're going to look at this.
Carlos Gonzalez is over.
Oh boy, Bud Black's coming out to talk about it, that's for sure.
He may have been leading over that railing. So Bud is talking to Jerry Meals about it right now.
Oh boy, that's.
We have to try to assume too that Gonzalez would have made the catch. Now he's a very gifted defender. It's not Moises Alou out there. Hoffman thought it was interference. So they are going to take a look at this. One of the challenges that a manager can ask for is spectator interference.
Well, that comes into play.
It sure does. So Jerry Meals is the home plate umpire, and he's the crew chief to the right. Mike Redmond is the bench coach, former manager of the Marlins. To the left is Chris Conroy. These kind of boundary plays, though, I do think are difficult to discern whether, you have to try to figure out whether Carlos Gonzalez could have caught it. Gentleman leaned over. It's close.
Yeah,
it's a fingertip or two, if anything.
Yeah, this is one of those that if there's no, overwhelming evidence that he interfered, then you just have to go with what the call was.
Well, and if I don't know about you, it's hard to make the decision. You have 30 seconds to make the decisions. You're up 3-0. Do you make this decision to review it here and lose your challenge, or do you wait and hold on to it? I guess it's sort of a crapshoot.
I mean, first out of an inning, you just scored 3 runs. Maybe this is what he wants the young man to.
So no fan interference, and Cameron Rupp will continue to bat. So the Rockies are out of challenges. So he can stay. The gentleman can stay in his seat.
But did he get the ball?
I think he did.
He missed it.
Did miss it. We're told he did not get the ball.
That could have been rough. I mean, he was waiting there thinking, oh, please don't call this an out. If you call this interference, I got to get out of here. The Twitter world's lighting up.
Sure is.
Gotta love it.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Cameron. Cameron has 3 home runs here in the month of May. He is down on strikeouts. That's the best curveball so far for Hoffman. And 1 away from Michael Saunders.
Well, we mentioned the fastball curveball combo, and was it 2 strikes you're up there protecting, but that's. Look, I'd like to say that Cameron's the only one that's ever swung at a ball in the dirt, but he starts flipping that over for strikes. This could be a short night for the Fightins.
It's definitely a different curveball than the first 2 innings. Saunders batting 8th for the first time this year. He's hitless in his last 11 at bats. And a fastball in. 1 ball, 1 strike.
What's impressive about Hoffman, a lot of guys, if they have to try to throw a ball inside, they'll take something off of it to aim it. I mean, his velocity goes up when he's just threw 2 to Saunders right there at 97 in off the plate.
Well, Well, down in AAA this year, he's 3-2 with an ERA of 3.46 in 7 games.
And their AAA team is Colorado Springs?
Colorado Springs.
I'm assuming the ball carries well there.
I would think so. So
I would also assume that they don't have a humidor.
Yeah, so 3.46. That's a good question. Popped up on the right side. So you're right. 3.46 is not a bad ERA, particularly in the Pacific Coast League overall. So 2 outs. And here's Eichhoff. You know what? It's not Colorado Springs. I knew there was a curve there. It was Albuquerque. They're in Albuquerque, so the ball does jump there. For so many years they were in Colorado Springs.
I know when I was in AAA, it was like 2 different leagues. You know, our division was Las Vegas, Albuquerque, Phoenix, Tucson. Balls jump. And then you go up to Tacoma and Vancouver and Calgary.
Not so much.
Not so much. Salt Lake City, when it was, 28 degrees out, ball wasn't carrying too good that day.
1-2 pitch to Eichhoff, and a strike at the knees. So 3 strikeouts overall. And Hoffman has retired the first 9 hitters he has faced in tonight's game. We'll move to the top of the 4th. 3-0 Rockies on top. Your home and auto insurance. Talk to an agent today or call 800 State Farm. You could save hundreds when you combine home and auto. State Farm, here to help life go right. Well, with John Kruk and Greg Murphy, I'm Tom McCarthy. Nice to be with you here at Citizens Bank Park, where the Phillies trail at 3-0 as we move to the top half of the 4th inning against a Rockies team which has the best winning percentage in the National League, followed by the Nationals, the Dodgers, and the Arizona Diamondbacks. Dodgers and Diamondbacks both have the same record. So the West is still up for grabs, which you would expect at this point in the season. But I think everybody expected it would be the Dodgers and the Giants that would probably be battling for the top spot. Not the Dodgers, Rockies, and Diamondbacks battling for the top spot.
Well, the Diamondbacks have a really good offense too, along with the Rockies. And the Dodgers, as long as you have Kershaw going every 5th day, probably not going to have any lengthy losing streaks. But the Giants, with Madison Bumgarner going down, offensively they struggled. Hunter Pence has been kind of in and out of the lineup, and Bruce Bochy's trying to mix and match with whatever he can out there, try to keep it close. But it doesn't look like Bumgarner's coming back anytime soon.
No, it doesn't. Mark Reynolds will lead it off. He popped out his first time up the third base line. Reynolds hitting .373 in his last 16 games.
Reynolds hit. Sometimes he hits balls and you think, wow, you know, it didn't look like he caught it. And next thing you know, it's 480 feet. And just easy power.
Strong hands. I would think that's where you can work him a little bit, is toward the outer half of the plate.
Yeah, especially off speed. Yeah, he sells out for the fastball and hopes you make a mistake with the breaking ball. But, you know, Eichhoff has thrown him a couple here. Been pretty good ones.
There is the breaking ball and a strike 3 called. Second strikeout for Eichhoff. It's the first since the first batter of the game. Bob McClure on your left, Pete Buchanan on your right.
Watch his front foot. See how his front foot lands hard? See how early he was on that pitch? That he sells out for the fastball. If you throw him a fastball, he's going to get a good swing at it. If you throw him really good breaking balls like Eichhoff did in this at bat, this is what you're going to get, the end result. Look how long he had to wait for that ball to get there after his front foot hit the ground.
They talk about hands staying back, and that usually enables you to hit that curve, but his hands were leaking forward.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He's geared up for number one, and like you said, if you can continue to pitch like that, you're going to continue to have success against him.
The curveball 0-2 to Parra.
Problem is one mistake and it's a souvenir.
Upstairs, 1-2. Ground ball right side. Cesar to his right. MLB.TV is your way to catch up on everything going on around Major League Baseball. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live on over 400 supported devices. Plus, get a free subscription to At-Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details.
Ice cream with Schmitty again this weekend, huh?
That's right. You got a few days to prepare yourself.
I already broke some of it in. You know, sometimes you have to sample.
Little samples.
I'm getting a scouting report for Schmitty when he gets here.
How do you know that's what Frank's going to have in the containers?
Well, because he said that one of them's become Michael Jack's new favorite, the salted caramel. So
weekends with salted caramel.
I had to mix it up with some vanilla and took some of the starch out of it.
Did it go down easier?
Well, I'm thinking because I negated a lot of the caramel and the salt with the vanilla, that it was healthier.
Less calories, definitely a better perspective. I would buy into that.
See, you and I are on the same page.
Yes, we are. That may be a problem, but
yeah.
1 ball and 2 strikes to Amarista, who singled up the middle. That one's floated out towards shallow left center. Odubel got a good jump. 1, 2, 3, 4th inning for Eichhoff. He's had 2 1-2-3 innings tonight. We've completed 3.5 on to the bottom of the 4th inning. I don't know if that's salted caramel. Weekends with Schmidt, presented by Acme Markets. Countdown begins. We're 4 days away. Nissan. Shop ChooseNissan.com. By Jefferson Health. Call 800-JEF-NOW or visit jefferson.edu. And by your local Ford store. Check out every new Ford car, truck, and SUV crossover at buyfordnow.com today. Well, things are hopping out there at Tony Luke's. We're kind of going backwards here. We had ice cream. Now we're going to the cheesesteaks.
Yeah, I don't think there's a bad time for either. Depends on which one you get to first, which line's shorter.
Because you can have the other one while you're waiting in line.
I think me, you, and Murph could be multi-millionaires if we get that fried onion scented candle.
Well, we're right on your coattails. You fund it, we're there. Here's Cesar.
Murph's the one with all the money.
No balls and one strike.
He ain't commenting.
No, he sounds really quiet.
Yeah.
I'm trying to comment. There we go. Yeah, I do have all the money. I do, because I grabbed your wallet off your desk, John.
That's right.
So I've been spending all night.
Good luck with that.
1 ball, 1 strike to Cesar. Cesar hit a soft liner to Arenado his first time up. Arenado just backpedaled on that last pitch. He didn't come in, he backpedaled.
It's amazing how much thought he puts into every pitch. A third baseman. Usually you get sky reported, you play here till 2 strikes, you move back. You might move over to your left or right a little. See if he stays up with 2 strikes like he did Cesar's last at bat. He's moving back, but that doesn't mean he's staying there. I'd like to have a Fitbit on him throughout the game, huh? I wonder if you can transfer the steps.
Take kids onto yours?
Yeah. I don't wear one.
So you have to get one first. 3-2. 98 on that fastball.
Must be getting loose. 95, 96 wasn't good enough.
Line drive to left field. Parra makes the diving grab. Now that's 10 up, 10 down now for Hoffman.
Great swing by Cesar, and you know, we talked about it in the open, how tied for first in fielding percentage in the National League. Parra got a great jump. Watch his head, how still it stayed through the dive. All right, so Jacob deGrom, Kevin Gausman, combo platter.
I can see that.
Yeah, his facial, like with the glasses and all, is kind of Kevin Gausman like.
I want to keep leaning toward Tyler Clippard because of the goggles, but it's not fitting.
Yeah, Kevin Gausman facially.
1 ball and no strikes to Galvis. The Phillies need to break up his routine right now. He's thrown 46 pitches, 1 out in the 4th, no base runners yet. Everything's from the windup.
Well, Freddie should get something here. He took a good swing at that fastball and fly it out to deep left center. See, that's where the Phillies are right now offensively. They're in between. And that pitch was up. Probably not a great pitch for Freddie to attack. You get a called strike, who knows? It could have been 3-0 now.
Inside 2 or 3-1. That's a fair ball, and Reynolds has it easily. Hoffman covers 3-1 on the putout. And now 2 outs here in the 4th inning. How do you make your packages stand out? Well, add a little color. Avery Neon shipping labels ensure all your shipping messages get noticed. Perfect for any priority message. And WB Mason delivers the same day when you order by 11:30. Local service, personalized. 2 bucks. WB Mason. Altera went down looking his first time up. 1 of 3 strikeouts for Hoffman. right center field. On the run is Gonzalez, over his head and off the scoreboard. It's a bullet for the first hit of the night for the Phils. An opposite field double. It's the 10th two-base hit of the year for Altair.
That's a good sign. It looked like he was a little passive at the plate, taking too many good pitches. So he says, the heck with this. I'm not going to give a strikeout pitcher the opportunity to strike me out. Swing early in the count. You're trying to get strike one. The ball leaks over the center of the plate. And this is his strength. Hitting the ball to right center to left center. That's where he should set his sights every single pitch. Got great power the other way. Now base hit by Tommy right here, and we're back in this thing.
Yeah, it's the first time tonight now that he's working from the stretch. When you talk about messing up his routine, you got Joseph, who's hitting .345 here in the month of May with 5 home runs. And he loops that one into right field, a base hit. Well, Blackman did it for the Rockies, and Joseph does it for the Phils. It's an RBI single, and the Phillies are on the board. It's a 3-1 ball game.
Turnabout's fair play. You just wish we had 2 on scoring position for that blooper by Tommy Joseph. And again, a good fastball by Hoffman, and you know, if Tommy's trying to pull that ball, he probably shatters his bat and hits a little ground ball to Arenado. Instead, think up the middle the other way, get enough of it, just hit it over Reynolds' head. And, hey, he makes a mistake here from the stretch again to Franco, and who knows, could be 3-3.
Franco hit it sharply his last time up, a liner out to third base. In the dirt. 1 ball, no strikes. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes. So Joseph's at first base with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Here's this breaking ball to Franco.
Yeah, this is pretty much, you can almost guess another one's coming out there too, because Franco just doesn't cover that pitch.
Hittable pitch, but Franco is struck out. That's 4 strikeouts for Hoffman. Phillies do get 1 back. We've head to the 5th inning. 3-1 Rockies. On Wednesday, June 14th and Thursday, June 15th. Both games are at 7:05. Interleague baseball between the Phillies and the Red Sox. It's something that happens quite often. Come out to the ballpark. Get your tickets now. Go to Phillies.com. Red Sox are in sort of disarray at this point with all the money that they've spent over the last couple of years. They're still 22-21, 4 games out, but the assumption is that they should be better than they are right now. Still a lot of time. That division is seemingly wide open in the East, even though the Yankees have played so well. But they only lead the Orioles by a half game. Tampa is at 500, and the Blue Jays, picked by many to win the division, 8 games back.
Injuries. Donaldson's been out for a while. David Price has been out for Boston all year.
Yeah, he's making another rehab start.
Close to coming back, yeah. And I think Toronto really misses Encarnacion a lot.
So Dubel takes care of Walters, 1 out. Jeff Hoffman is coming up. The Red Sox have talked a lot about their team. Matt Klentak talked a lot about the Phillies today, and Murph has a full report on that.
He did indeed, Tom. You know, Matt Klentak generally talks to the media when the team comes home from a long road trip. He did that today, and lots of top topics are obviously covered. But I thought one of the most interesting things that they talked about, one of the reporters asked whether or not Matt Klentak thought that the Phillies had regressed, or that players had regressed from a year ago. And Matt said, in his opinion, no, players haven't regressed. He said, what we're not seeing is consistency. And, you know, you take a look at some of the guys on the road trip. Now, some of the numbers were good. Tommy Joseph stayed hot. You know, Maikel Franco started to get hot, which was good to see. But a guy like Aaron Altair, who had been red hot, he kind of cooled off a little bit, as did Cesar Hernandez, the 2 most consistent guys. And Odubel Herrera has been lost for a little bit. He continued to struggle on the road. But Matt said, look, when you look at really good teams, competitive teams, they have guys that can figure it out pretty quickly. They might go 0 for 4, they might go 0 for 8, but you're not going to see 0 for 20s mixed in there. Not with good competitive teams. He said, that's what we're trying to build. That's what these guys are trying to become. But it's a process. And, you know, he said, what I saw partly on the road were guys just not being consistent. Obviously, that's the case. There are guys that certainly struggled. It'll be interesting to see those guys that did struggle on the road, if they're able to break out now back at home. Aaron Altair with the line drive double, that was good to see. So what remains to be seen whether or not they're going to be able to pull themselves out of it quickly. Yeah, consistency, you hear that all the time with young players. I know the fans probably don't want to keep hearing it year after year until these guys establish themselves. I mean, we're getting fairly late into the season as Hoffman picks up his first major league hit on that bouncer up the middle. But, you know, Pete's kind of talked about that stuff too, about consistency with this young team, trying to find it. And I guess that's why he's switching his lineup up so often from game to game. Here's Charlie Blackmon. Blackmon takes outside.
You know, part of what Pete Buchanan is responsible for is trying to develop these young kids, giving them opportunities, but you also want to win, and sometimes you have to hurt someone's feelings by moving them down in the lineup. You know, it either, you know, maybe sometimes it'll wake a guy up
or wake everybody else up.
Well, yeah.
Matt was also asked today about, you know, a couple of different things, including Bob McClure, because folks have been asking about, you know, the pitching staff and how they've been struggling. And Matt said unequivocally Bob's job is not in jeopardy. And we've gotten to know Bob. Bob is great to deal with from our standpoint. He tells it like it is. And he's got a young staff that he's working with, kind of like the young staff he had in Kansas City. Not as much Boston, but in Kansas City some years ago. But I think finding this offensive consistency, finding the pitching staff to go deep like Aaron Nola did yesterday, deep into the game, those are all big keys to what would hopefully be a successful few weeks before the All-Star break. And a foul tip hung on to by Rupp. And there are 2 outs, 3 strikeouts for Eichhoff. That's a big one, getting Charlie Blackmon.
Seems like the scouting report on Charlie Blackmon is breaking ball. It's a good one though right there by Eichhoff. Starts up about letter high and drops down a little bit below the strike zone. Didn't have that big sweep across home plate from outside part to the inside part to the lefty.
Over to second base and caught out of the air by Cesar Hernandez. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left. On to the bottom of the 5th. The Phils down by 2 when we come back. Minor league report. Citizens Bank, the official bank of the Phils. Visit citizensbank.com. Hey, how about what Scott Kingery has done? You know, everybody's talked about his power numbers, that they don't think he's going to project to be a home run hitter in the big leagues. He has 13 home runs already, including 5 this week. He was the Eastern League's Player of the Week. Congratulations to him. We really fell in love with his game in spring training this year.
Yeah, I know that the coaches loved him, and you know, the definition they give you, like, what's this kid like? He's a baseball player. He said he's a smart player, very fundamentally sound. He keeps hitting home runs.
Well, Yesmuel Valentin went down with a shoulder injury, and Matt Klentak was asked about Scott Kingery today and whether he would earn a promotion, and he said he can see it in the foreseeable future, but he said honestly we are from an organizational standpoint loaded with a lot of infield talent, so you may see him move up to Lehigh Valley to sort of test those waters. Mickey Moniak hit his first home run this year earlier today against Todd Pratt's Greensboro team, single A affiliate of the Marlins. Breaking ball.
I'd say backup catchers make the best managers, don't they?
I saw Pratty today. His son is with him on the trip to Lakewood. He looked good. Murph was saying, and I forgot about this when he talked to him last year on Alumni Day, he was coaching a college team. But I think wanted to make that transition to the pro game as Parra takes care of Odubel.
Well, the one thing you know about Todd Pratt, he's going to work hard.
Well, he looked good. You know, physically he looked good. He battled cancer a few years ago. Cameron Rupp is now the hitter.
A large man.
I was thinking as Cameron came up, Pratt is built like Cameron Rupp. Struck out his first time up. Swing and a miss, 0-1. One ball and 1 strike. Galapagos gang has made its appearance out at Ashburn Alley.
Why are they blocking everyone's view?
That's what they do, John. They want the center of attention to be them.
We know people like that, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
Bessie, Calvin, and what's the other? Iggy.
That's Iggy. Two-one pitch to Rupp. Fastball on the outside quarter, 96. It's 2-2. Ground ball to third. And 2 outs here in the 5th inning. Well, Huffman has brushed aside that 1-run inning in the 4th. We got some troubles, John, down in the dugout area toward the camera well. Bob tried. Yeah.
Kind of whiffed on it, didn't he?
He did.
Saved the camera, though.
Tried to save the camera. He's attached, though. It was tough for him to maneuver.
Well, those who can do, those who can't run a camera.
Our buddy Andy Rabel's next to him. He wasn't much of a help, though.
He didn't give him a read on it, did he?
Did not. 1-0 to Michael Saunders. He popped up his first time up. And it's 2 balls and no strikes.
Turn him loose?
You know what? I would.
I would. Try to catch one.
He's hitless in his last 12 ABs. See if you can give him a fastball to go after. He's taken. It's 3-1. Jared's on deck. Ball was sizzling into the seats off the left side. It was pretty deep into toward the catcher's glove before he got that bat rolling. Look out. I don't blame him for pulling their hands away.
A little frigid tonight. Good.
Out to right field, excuse me. It's not deep. Gonzalez is there. And a 1-2-3 5th inning for Hoffman. So Hoffman now has 4 1-2-3 innings. Saunders retired. We'll move to the top of the 6th inning.
Philly of the week is having a much improved second month of the season. The hard-swinging Phillies first baseman has turned a troubled April into a masterful May, hitting nearly .400 for most of the month. A lack of production for Tommy early has reversed its path, and 15 games into the month, Joseph deposited 11 extra base hits and plated 11 runs. His average is up, his slugging is up, his consistency has returned. And it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless.
Well, there is Tommy Joseph, who does have the RBI tonight for the Phillies in this 3-1 deficit as we go to the top of the 6th inning. And Jared Eichhoff will face Arenado, Gonzalez, and Mark Reynolds. 3, 4, and 5 for the Rockies. Arenado's 0 for 2. He's lined out and he's grounded out to shortstop. Well, that's not too bad. 75 pitches with 1 strike on the board here in the 6th.
Yeah, the only issue is, I mean, he gets through this inning, it's still a low pitch count, but you're probably going to have to pinch hit for him leading off the next inning. You would think.
Yeah, with Saunders finishing up a 7-pitch at bat with that fly ball. 4 strikeouts now for Eichhoff. And 1 out here in the 6th. Well, Saturday, when the Phils take on the Cincinnati Reds, if you are 14 and under, you get a chance to run the bases after the game. It's brought to you by Nemours. Go to Phillies.com to order your tickets today. Today is a youth baseball and softball celebration here at Citizens Bank Park. 1,300 boys and girls were getting a chance to walk around the field for the start of the game.
Murph going to go run the bases?
We could probably sneak him in.
I mean, he looks young.
I will run, but I'm going to try and win if I do. Is that okay?
Kids will be bouncing all over the place.
I might not win. I'm just going to try.
Yeah. Make sure you take the inside of the bag, Murph, when you go.
Okay.
That's a way to do it for the kids, Murph.
Yes.
He'll do that. Are you going to stroll the bases with the seniors?
Yeah, that would
be
apropos.
With my walker.
Over to first base. Tommy Joseph has a glance off his glove and into the stands. And Gonzalez will head to second base. Last time we had a race here, it didn't go too well. Greg Farnese in the blue. Oh, no. We had more attention on that than Rich beating Nick. There's Greg. Yeah, he's still in pain. Are you still feeling it? Yeah. It's a bad idea, John. Before we even throw it out there, it's a bad idea.
Nothing good could come out of that.
No.
Win or lose. But really, let's be honest. They're all losers for participating in it.
That's one of those that probably seemed like a good idea at the time.
Yeah, till the second step. I got the bell. I got the bell.
0-1 to Reynolds. Oh, 2.
They gave out a double, huh?
They did. Ball had a lot of topspin on it if it hit the glove and shot into the stands.
Yeah, that's one of those you got to try to charge, get on a short hop. That in between hop's a tough one. Wow.
Well, Jerry Meals has flinched a couple times tonight on pitches that were awfully close for Eichhoff. Guess he deemed that one just a bit high. Top of the zone again. That's through the hole on the left side of base hit. Gonzalez will hold up at third. And Reynolds is aboard. And he'll put runners on first and third with one out.
That's what happens with young pitchers. You make a pitch, you think you have a strikeout, the umpire doesn't give it to you, and the next pitch isn't a quality pitch.
Well, that happened in the third inning as well. There was a spot where it seemed like Eichhoff had a guy struck out. Jerry Meals did not agree with the inside fastball. And then a pitch or two later, they had to come over the heart of the plate a little bit more. And it turned out to be a base hit. So Bob McClure out to the mound to talk to Eichhoff, with runners on first and third with one out. And Gerardo Parra, who did hit into a double play earlier in the game, will be the batter. How you playing this one? You playing for two here?
Two up the middle. Parra can run. This is where you're Tommy Joseph. You have to know right now, if the ball's hit hard, what am I doing with it? If it's hit soft, of course, you're going to check Gonzalez. If Gonzalez isn't running from third, you're going to get the out at first. Last thing you want to do is get caught in between.
Parra is 0 for 2. And that's a liner out toward right. Saunders will make the catch. Tagging from third is Gonzalez. The throw goes towards second. It'll wind up being a sacrifice fly. And it's back to a 3-run lead for the Rockies. Well, the objective is to drive in the run, and Parra, I mean, he went after the first pitch aggressively in an RBI situation.
Yeah, and hit that ball hard too. He catches that ball just a 1/10 of an inch, a little bit lower on the ball. That might be off the wall. He squared it up.
Amarista singled his first time up and scored. That was back in that 3-run third. Then flied out to center field his last time. Four runs on 8 hits now for the Rockies. And a line drive base hit it to right field. Reynolds will stop at second base. And Amarista, who Bud Black was very familiar with, because he managed him in San Diego. He now has 2 hits in this ball game.
Now, when Amarista was in San Diego, though, they were all young.
Yes.
Maybe putting him with, you know, Carlos Gonzalez and Mark Reynolds and Nolan Arenado. Guys have been around a while, guys who've had a lot of success at the big league level. You know, that's a help.
Walters is 1 for 2. He has singled and scored. He's flied out to center field. And a fastball runs away, and it's 1-0.
That's why I think the Phillies, they need Howie Kendrick back in the lineup, healthy.
Yeah, it's a shame for Howie and the ball club that he's had a setback or two. I mean, he's trying to get back each time. A little frustration now for Eichhoff.
You know, you look at the struggles with, you know, with Franco, with Odubel. You know, Tommy Joseph looks like he's coming out of it, but you know, Michael Saunders is having his own struggles, and you know, Howie was off to such a great start. You know, that could just do nothing but help these younger kids just by watching the way he goes about his business.
Rodriguez starting to throw in the bullpen.
Is that on a time delay? It looked like it didn't even leave his hand. The glove was popping.
I don't think so. I think it's because he's far up. Ground ball right side, and that should do it for the 6th inning, and it does. But the Rockies tack on one more run on 3 base hits. They leave a couple. We'll head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Eichhoff's night may be done as he leads it off when we come back. Nation for fast free delivery. Nobody does it better. And by Toyota. Find your favorite model today. Toyota. Let's go places. Bob McClure, Cameron Rupp talking to Jared Eichhoff. His night is done. So he's done after 6 innings. He scatters 9 hits and 4 runs. He didn't walk anybody, struck out 4. There were things that I thought showed that he looked better. He didn't get a couple pitches, but that happens to a lot of pitchers. You know, location on some of his other pitchers, that's, you know, where it was problematic.
Yeah, and you know, you're playing against a team with a great offense, and you know, you make a pitch, you think you executed a good pitch to get a strike or a strikeout, and you don't get the call. And you feel like, as a young pitcher, you feel like I have to throw this more over the plate or down a little bit more. And yeah, but again, it wasn't like he was getting just pounded around the ballpark for these 4 runs.
So Brock Stassi will pinch hit. And he takes a curveball. Well, on the flip side, this kid Jeff Hoffman, who just is called up for this start probably, has put together a fantastic 5 innings so far.
I mean, wouldn't you want to see him one more?
If he throws like this. He came in with 6 2/3 under his belt and an ERA of just under 6. Stassi fouls it back. That was a wicked curve. Didn't even make it to the plate.
Yeah, if you swung at that when you're not picking it up out of the hand very well.
You might be able to hit it on the bounce.
Didn't Ichiro do that in Toronto?
Yeah. Vlad used to do that too.
Thou shalt not pass.
Tied him up and fouls it off. It remains 2-2. Well, the hope is when you trade somebody like Tulowitzki, you're going to get somebody back. I mean, they got Reyes back, but they'll get others back that could eventually help them out. Well, this is one of the pieces they got back. Outside, 3-2 to Stassi.
Tell you, it's amazing. 10, 15 years ago, you would never trade this arm. 97, 98, not afraid to pitch inside.
Right center field. Gonzalez says he has it. And he does to retire Stassi. Time now for the Jeep Stuff the Fans Trivia Quiz answer. All right, John, here we go. What is Bud Black's real first name? You are familiar with this name. There was a gentleman that went by this name and did not have a well, he had a nickname, but it wasn't something that was commonplace. As Cesar takes.
Now I'm more confused. I was going to go with like Jim.
Jim is incorrect.
Thomas?
Well, that's a good guess. That's not correct, though. He was in this booth for a long time.
Sarge?
Yeah, Sarge Black. He has a restaurant named for him.
Harry.
Yeah. Harry is correct.
Harry Bud Black.
Yep.
I'd have never guessed.
Log back on to Phillies.com to find out if you're the winner of a Phillies prize pack. 2 balls and 1 strike. Where do we get Bud from if your name's Harry?
Little League coach probably didn't know his name. Hey, Bud. Come on, buddy. Here we go, Bud.
Parra out in left field toward the line. Yeah, there are 2 outs. That is 10 fly ball outs for Hoffman. Which I guess with his fastball you might expect it if it runs a little bit up.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, it's tough to get on top of something 97, 98. I think Freddie might get one here. Just have a feeling.
Well, he grounded out his last time up, then flied out his first time. Way this bullpen has gone for the Rockies, if he gives them 6 or even 7, depending on how long it takes him to get Galvis, or if Galvis prolongs the inning. The way the bullpen has been, Bud Black is going to be ecstatic.
Oh, without question.
All right, if you want a baseball, you got to really want the baseball. And he really wanted the baseball.
That's a heck of an effort.
It really is. Somebody else tipped their cap behind him. Take another look at it. Coming right at you. Oh. Did he go over the top of the girl next to him?
I think he was trying to save her. Let's go with chivalry. He was trying to save her. Brad Lidge jersey.
That is how he'll explain it. Three balls and 2 strikes to Galvis. And he's down on strikes. That's 7 in a row retired by Hoffman since allowing the RBI single. 5 strikeouts tonight. Another 1-2-3 inning. That'll take us to the top of the 7th. Time now for your Delaware Valley Honda dealers game summary. That catch was spectacular by that fan behind home plate. Beyond that, though, the Phils allowed 3 runs in the third. Charlie Blackmon had a 2-run double against Jared Eichhoff, who went 6 innings, struck out 4. Tommy Joseph has the only RBI for the Phils. And now as we go to the top of the 7th inning, the Phillies will go to their bullpen. As we take a look at Center City, looks like it's cleared up a little bit, which is good. And Pat Neshek will start off. Jeff Hoffman with a strike. Neshek 0-1 with an ERA of 1.17.
Jeff Hoffman got a base hit, first career hit. We're going to throw Neshek at you for see if you can get 2.
Yeah, see if you can time this guy.
Yeah. Lock in on this one.
That's been a good pickup for the Phillies. ERA alone. He went until the Nationals series last weekend before he allowed his first earned run. Heck, his first run overall.
He's battling.
Just asked Rupp if he was okay after that foul ball. One ball, 2 strikes. He got him. Went upstairs with it and one away here in the 7th. Well, time now for our Toyota turning point. We go back to the 3rd inning, and Blackmon looped this double to left center for left field.
Yeah, we talked about it that entire inning. No ball was really hit hard, and that's, you know, when you're going well as a team, when you're swinging the bats good, you get the breaks, and that's a break for Blackmon. Got jammed, flared one to left, and that gave him the lead, and they've kept the lead.
Yeah, they lead it now 4-1. They added a run in the 6th inning. It's no balls and 1 strike. Jared Eichhoff, by the way, who will not win tonight's ball game. He can only lose it. He's one of 4 major league pitchers now to have started at least 8 games without winning 1. He's had some tough outings, but he's also had some outings where if he had a little more run support, he would have been fine. But that hasn't been the case the last several times. Granted, the Phillies have only scored 1 run tonight, but he gave a 5 against Seattle on the 9th. He gave a 4 against Chicago in 5 2/3 on the 3rd of May. And tonight he's given up 4 on 9 hits. And Blackmon fouls away the 2-2. Little spinner out toward 3rd. Franco charges and has it, flips to 1st, not in time. Boy, a bloop double and now an infield hit.
That ball had so much spin on it, Franco couldn't get a good grip on it. Even though it does hit his glove, I mean, this ball's spinning. Look at that thing spinning. And Franco can't get it. That ball rolls around in your glove. That thing kind of started leaking down toward the fingers of his glove and didn't get a clean grip and had to re-grip it again.
Well, now you got to keep an eye on Blackmon, who has stole 3rd earlier for his 4th steal of the season. He has 105 career stolen bases for the Rockies, which is tied for 4th all time with Dante Bichette, who you wouldn't really think of as a bona fide base stealer. Dante Bichette.
Dante stole bases?
Yeah, he has 105 in his career.
That's what's amazing. He's the Rockies all-time leader in stolen bases?
No, he's fourth, tied for fourth.
Oh.
Yeah. But that's not who you would think would be in the top five.
No kidding. Who's first?
So I'm going to check it out right now.
Eric Young, maybe?
I think it is EY.
Yeah, that should have been our trivia question.
Mayhew fouls it away. Mayhew had a bouncing single earlier in the game that drove in a run. So he is 1 for 3.
Yeah, if Blackman didn't steal that base, like you said, that's a whole different inning.
Swing and a miss. He slowed him up even more and got a strikeout, his second one of the inning. So 2 away, and it is Eric Young who is the all-time leader in steals with 180.
Where did EY go to school?
Rutgers.
That's right.
State University of New Jersey. I wonder where he is now. He was their first base coach for a while.
He was with the Diamondbacks, wasn't he?
Could be.
I think he was there though when Gibson was there. I don't know who's there now. Torey Lovello.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Torey kept him on the staff or not.
Arenado takes outside. 2 balls and no strikes. There is Joely Rodriguez warming up. I don't know if he's up for Gonzalez, although Neshek has shown an ability to get lefties out. EY is not currently on a big league coaching staff. He was let go by the Rockies at the end of last season when Walt Weiss was let go. Tom Runnels, their bench coach. 3-1. Would you have trouble hitting a guy that throws this soft or mixes it up this much?
I think it would be more the motion, because you got to think just by watching how his body is that he's going to throw sidearm, but he really doesn't. He's more 3/4.
Softly to right field, and Saunders will size it up. It's time to stretch here at Philadelphia. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left. The Phils down by 3 when we return. keys of the game. And we're just going to hand it over to Jeff Hoffman, the starting pitcher, because he's been pretty precise tonight.
Yeah, he's been really good. Above average fastball, ranging from 94 to 98 miles an hour. Pitching inside, like you see right there to Freddie. Looks like a little cutter. It kind of had cut action on it, but his strikeouts, his performance today for the young man is our precision plays of the game.
Yeah, so 87 pitches so far in this ball game as we begin the 7th inning. And he's as stretched out as anyone, even though most of his time has been in the minor leagues. And he will face Altair, who doubled his last time up and scored. Tommy Joseph and Maikel Franco. Any sign of trouble, Bud Black will go to the bullpen. He does have Mike Dunn, the lefty, the veteran left-hander, warming up. Another one in right center field. That'll be another base hit for Altair, and that one goes softly to the wall. Altair to second. He'll stop there. 2 doubles tonight for Aaron Altair. So that's a good sign.
A really good sign, and that's how you come out of a little funk that he was in. Is, you know, I learned this from Tony Gwynn. When you're struggling, more than likely you're either behind everything or you're way out in front of everything. And he always told me, set your sights to left center field. Well, for Aaron Altair, his sights are to right center field. And that means you're staying on the ball, you're keeping your shoulder in. 2 beautiful swings by Altair.
Tommy Joseph, who singled him home his last time, will be the batter. 3 hits now for the Phillies. Check swing. Did he go? Yes, says Conroy. Really nice story today in the News Journal by Megan Montemuro, who covers the Phillies, on Tommy Joseph's wife Allie, who is finishing up shortly her time in the Air Force, where she is a nurse. 0-2.
Delivering babies, which, more respect in the world for that lady.
Tommy and Allie have known each other since the 8th grade.
I read about, she said she felt it was her duty to serve, and she wanted to serve. She's very patriotic, and hats off to her for that sacrifice. Story. Oh, it's a great story.
Yep, it was an excellent story. Cameron Rupp said they call her lieutenant when they see her. So we don't get a lot of that around these parts. All 2 strikes to Tommy Joseph. That breaking ball, and he is struck out for the first out here in the 7th inning. That's 6 strikeouts now for Hoffman. CSN has you covered on air, online, and now with podcasts. Take the insider info on all your favorite Philly teams wherever you go. Download and listen on Autoboom, iTunes, Google Play, and of course csnphilly.com. Why don't you do your next podcast on Allie?
I should. When does she get up here?
She's here from time to time. You should get with Tommy and see when she's around.
I will. I'll ask Tommy. And
I like producing your podcast.
I have to do one this week.
Dribbler foul. It's 0-1. Have you done Schmidt yet? Or are you going to do it before he gets here this week?
I haven't.
I know we were talking about that one last time. In the dirt again. 1 ball, 1 strike. Franco this month 242 with 2 home runs. Odubel is waiting on deck. Off the end of the bat, fouled again. 1-2. Well, you figure he's going to probably throw him another curveball.
Well, until he stays in on one and doesn't pull off, why would you throw him anything else? I mean, right now, with the approach that Franco has, that unless it stays middle in, that's probably about the only chance he's going to have on a breaking ball.
Goes again. 83 miles an hour. 7 strikeouts for Hoffman. And now Odubel Herrera will be the hitter. It's a good pitch, just from a concept standpoint.
Yeah, I mean, it stayed in the strike zone a long time, and you know that's what Franco saw. A strike, 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 and last second breaks out of the zone, but you've already committed.
Steve Foster out to talk to Hoffman. Oberg is the righty, along with Dunn, the left-hander. It's kind of interesting time to go out there.
Just struck out 2 in a row.
Yeah. He knows Odubel. He's already faced him twice. Maybe he just wanted to remind both the pitcher and the catcher of the scouting report.
It has been a long time since they faced him. See where they forget.
I was reaching.
Yeah. Hey, the effort was there. Former Philly Ryan Hannigan, huh?
For a brief spring training.
He had a good spring.
Yeah, he was down in the minor leagues with the Rockies after the Phils let him go. Odubel's grounded out to the pitcher. He got jammed, and he's also flied out to left field. Pops this one up. It'll be foul and out of play over the Phillies dugout.
Odubel was taking too long for himself. He had to call time. Get reset.
Little spitter over to third base. Arenado throws him out, and the inning is over. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left in scoring position. It's been that kind of night for the Phils. Very frustrating. They trail it by 3. by your Delaware Valley Honda dealers. Hurry to your local Del Val Honda dealer. Visit DelValHondaDealers.com. And by McDonald's. Now at McDonald's, an ice cold delicious soft drink is only $1. I'm loving it. Phillies trail at 4-1. You want to talk about a timeline of Phillies history all along that hat right there. Let's take a look at our Hyundai defensive play of the game. Here's Gerardo Parra, who was a Gold Glover at one point.
Yeah, great jump on this ball hit by Cesar, robbing him of extra bases. That makes pass him more than likely at least a triple with Cesar's speed, but he corrals it. And that is our Hyundai defensive play of the game, brought to you by your local Hyundai dealers.
Well, Hoffman being congratulated. His night is done after 7 innings. 3 hits, 1 run, no walks, 7 strikeouts. Kid was good.
Yeah, that's
commanded the zone.
It's going to be interesting to see what they do with him now.
Well, now they'll go to their bullpen, which has been very good. Phillies will go back to the bullpen. Here's Joely Rodriguez to face Carlos Gonzalez. And he runs it inside. Andres Blanco is in to play third base. There's Bud Black going over to talk to the young pitcher. Andres will bat 9th, and Rodriguez will bat 5th in the Phillies order. Joely's numbers: a 6.97 earned run average. Probably understatement of the year, but just way too many base runners.
Well, 20 innings pitched and 11 walks. That ain't good at all.
Over to the first base side. Joely has it and tags out Gonzalez. 1 away. Mark Reynolds coming up. Let's check in with Greg Murphy. Murph.
All right, thank you very much, Tom. It is time for our unlimited baseball break presented by T-Mobile, and the Indians are one step closer to getting their ace back on the hill. Corey Kluber, who's been on the disabled list since May the 4th, has a lower back strain, but today he threw a bullpen, reported after the fact that he felt very good. So now the team is going to send him on a rehab assignment. He's going to throw 70 to 75 pitches, somewhere in that range. If he feels good after that, we'll get together and hopefully decide to bring him back to the bigs and put them back in their rotation. They played very well without him, but obviously having a Corey Kluber back in your rotation, that's going to help your squad. And also, did you see the new seats at Yankee Stadium? They're kind of honoring their young rookie Aaron Judge, who has 15 home runs so far this season. That leads all of baseball. Well, they just decided a new section in section 104 of Yankee Stadium, 3 rows called the Judge's Chambers. And now here's the catch: you can't buy tickets to sit there. You have to be selected to sit there. Now, fans have been showing up to the games with, the powdered wigs and in robes and stuff like that to celebrate Aaron Judge. So they think at first that's who's going to get selected to be put in those seats. They'll sit there for a while, and then maybe they'll open it up to everybody else. So you do have a shot, Tom, to sit in the Aaron Judge seats.
Well,
keep your fingers crossed.
I could certainly use a wig.
A powdered one would be good on you.
Yeah. He's had a great start to the year. In the dirt, 1-2. I think that was one of those where they knew he had tremendous power, but I think 15 at this point is beyond their expectations.
Yeah, not this past spring, but the spring before, I was in Tampa talking to Joe Girardi, and Aaron Judge walked by, and I'm like, "Are you kidding me? Like, what is that?" He said, "Oh, that's all right. That might be our right fielder." He said, "Not this year." He said, "We're going to keep him in AAA unless we have a bunch of injuries or whatever." Well, they had the injuries. And he got called up last year at the end, but they thought he could do this. They knew the power, of course.
Ball's hit sharply to second. Cesar throws out Reynolds. He's also played a pretty good outfield too. I mean, I know people have looked at that diving catch he made a couple of days ago, where he had full extension.
He is just massive. I mean, you walk down that hallway at Steinbrenner Field there, by their locker room, and you see him and Dylan Betances come walking out. Betances 6'9". What the heck are they doing?
I didn't realize he was that big. He's that big.
Oh,
huh?
gosh, he's huge. And Judge is what, 6'7"?
Yep.
6'8"? You know, then CC Sabathia walks by and he looks tiny. That's when they had Andrew Miller, who's 6'7".
Well, you know that
Chapman was 6'7", 6'8", something like that.
they were definitely tempted to trade Judge, and probably happy now that they've held on to him. Another inside pitch, fastball, and it's 0-2 to Parra.
Yeah, I know they think that Frazier kid that they got from Cleveland for Andrew Miller, they think, you know, everyone raves about his bat speed. Is he going to make enough contact to see that at some point in the Bronx this year?
One ball and 2 strikes to Parra. Every time the Phillies pitchers retire, the opposition 1-2-3, which Joel's trying to do right here. Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Parra. And he stays alive again. Joey's had some pretty good location so far in this inning.
He has to, though. I mean, you know, there's going to be decisions made on a lot of people here coming up.
That one knocked the mask around for Cameron Rupp. It's like fastball in to Parra. Boy, I always wonder what a catcher thinks when there's, you know, one foul ball after another, because you're close to getting the guy. I mean,
Yeah.
the guy you might look at it the other way, so the guy's close to getting hit. But do you just keep pounding in that same spot over and over again to see if you can get him?
Yeah, I just by watching Parra's approach, I'm not a big fan of a fastball in, just because he's given a little bit. You saw the swings on the slider, just basically flipping his bat out there, hoping he fouls it off, or that's where I would go. Something hard away.
Well, he tried it. It's just off the outer edge, so it's 2-2. Little dribbler out in front of the plate, and Joely bounces in to Cameron Rupp. Fortunately, Cameron peeled back a little bit, because I don't know if he would have won that battle or not. But it's a 1-2-3 8th inning. Couple of groundouts Actually, 3 ground outs, including this one. This could have been disastrous if not for Cameron peeling off at the last minute. San Francisco Giants, which by the way was a 4:05 start. Stay for a free post-game concert featuring the Grammy-nominated band the Avett Brothers. Your game ticket is your concert ticket. No additional purchase is necessary. Tickets are on sale now. Go to Phillies.com/the Avett Brothers for more information. Well, Scott Oberg will take over for Jeff Hoffman, who went 7 innings, allowed 3 hits and a run, no walks and 7 strikeouts. Oberg is part of a bullpen that has an ERA of 4.18, which is 17th in all of baseball. But the Rockies are 26-0 when leading after 7, and that's because of how their bullpen has been. Cameron Rupp takes a cutter, and it's 0-1. If the score remains what it is now, we will see Greg Holland, who, well, he's having an all-star first half. He's the closer for the Rockies.
Hey, they got some arms down there. McGee, lefty, throws gas.
Yep, they got him from the Tampa Bay Rays.
He was their closer last year, correct?
Mm-hmm. They had everybody last year.
Yeah.
Ottavino tried to close. McGee tried to close. Chad Qualls is part of their bullpen, the former Phil. He's had a couple of good years since leaving the Phillies. But Greg Holland, the former closer for the Royals, who was very successful at one time, is the closer for the Rockies.
Fastball split for Holland, and deceptive too, because he strides toward the left-handed hitter. I'm sure that doesn't make it easy to pick the ball up.
Cameron is struck out for the 2nd time tonight. That is 8 strikeouts for Rockies pitching. And Bud Black goes trotting out.
Hard slider by Oberg, and Cameron battled back to get the count to even 2-2, and then that nasty pitch right there.
So another pitching change. Lefties coming in to face Saunders. We'll be back right after this. And girls for the 2017 summer season. Call 610-520-3400. Go to PhilliesCamps.com for more information. You have 4 divisions. They allow for age-appropriate instruction, professional coaching and skill development from Phillies players, coaches, and baseball academy instructors. You also get a Phillies Baseball Academy uniform, a trip to Citizens Bank Park. You might see the big green guy. Again, go to PhilliesCamps.com for more information. So Bud Black is playing the matchups here. Mike Dunn will take over, the veteran lefty. He's pitched for the Braves and the Marlins in the big leagues, and now the Rockies. Formerly from the Yankees organization. And he's on to face Saunders and then have Blanco bat right-handed. With 1 out here in the 8th. For 2, he's popped out to first, and he's flat out to right. Dunn has logged a lot of innings in his career. Another pop-up. That's in play for the moment. And now into the Phillies dugout.
Thing almost hit Brock Stassi twice.
He turned his back and had no idea where it was.
Be bad luck to get hit by a pop-up twice.
Outside, 2-2. See Dunn's career numbers against the Phillies, his earned run average at 4.20. He would come in and face Ryan Howard or Chase Utley from time to time, and they would get him. From a 33rd round pick of the Yankees back in 2004. And he gets Saunders. So 2 strikeouts in the inning for the Rockies bullpen. And that's now 9 strikeouts.
Their catcher wanted it away, ran it in on Saunders. Gets it by him. Frustrated, isn't he?
Yeah, it's been that kind of start for Michael this year. Here's Andres Blanco. 0-1.
Maybe this will be the reversal of what he and Odubel did last year. Odubel was hot the first half, as was Saunders. They both make the All-Star team, right?
Yes.
Struggled the second half. Maybe they'll both struggle first.
I like your optimism.
Well, you got to be.
Yeah. 0-2. Because those are two guys, and they're not alone.
Yeah.
Maikel Franco is another one who started to heat up on this road trip. But, you know, Odubel and Michael, you know, those are two guys that you got to get going.
Well, you know, we said it in spring training, I think, that those two have to be their best player if they're going to be anywhere near competitive. And right now they're not. And that's why we're in this spot we're in.
Yeah, the division is kind of quirky right now. Washington, it's not a surprise, are leading the way, but then Atlanta is in second. The Mets are a half game behind Atlanta, then the Phillies, and then the Marlins, who are right on the heels of the Phils.
Freddie Freeman fractures his wrist, and they go right out the next day and get Matt Adams.
Tapper foul, and it remains 1-2. Were you surprised he was available?
No, you know, no, because he was hit or miss. You know, he never. I don't think he was as great, as good a player as they thought he was going to be. You know, they had him in left field. I don't think he was happy out there.
I don't think he was athletic enough to be out there either, to a certain extent. Better first baseman.
Yeah, oh yeah, without question.
Swing and a miss. The Rockies bullpen has just struck out the side as Mike Dunn gets the two batters he faced. Well, we've played 8. We'll go to the 9th inning. The Phils still trail it by 3. For Phillies postgame live, presented by Cure Auto Insurance. You guys are going to talk about Jared Eichhoff's outing, which included one bad inning where he allowed 3 runs, and also another ineffective night for the Phillies offense, which has struck out 10 times in 8 innings tonight. That's all coming up after tonight's game. Johnny will be there as well.
I'm going to be here, not going to be over there.
You will be here making a cameo appearance on Phillies postgame live. Here is Amarista to face Joely Rodriguez. Bit low, and it's 1-0. It does kind of seem like we're talking about the same stuff every day, doesn't it? As far as the ball club goes.
Inconsistent offense.
Tapper back toward the mound over Joely. Here's Freddie Galvis, and in time to get Amarista.
Do they get another challenge since it's after the 7th inning?
Well, they used their challenge earlier in the game. Redmond's taking a look at it. It's up to the crew chief at this point from the 8th inning on. Bud Black is coming up the stairs. Ooh, that is really close.
Yeah, did they forego that the ball has to be in the back of the glove?
Yes, they have given up on that.
Close. They're going to take a look.
I mean, it's in the glove, but how far in the glove is it? Watch it again there. His foot is not on the bag. Now it's on, but the ball's in his glove.
I don't think there's enough to overturn, but
I don't either.
I mean, how many times we've been wrong this year already?
Jerry Meals to the right. Chris Conroy made the call. I thought naked eye he had beaten it.
I did too,
quite frankly. But the replays show that. I mean, Chris Conroy. I think he was right by looking at the replays. Again, Amarista is in agreement that that was pretty close. It does not deter the play, though, that Freddie Galvis made, aggressively going after that baseball. So this is termed a crew chief review, which after the 8th inning, that's what it is.
What if the crew chief said no?
He can. He can.
So what's he just being nice to Bud Black because he found out his name was Harry?
We have not seen a crew chief decline, because as we've heard over the last few years, the umpires will, you know, if it's close, they'll take a look at it because they want to be right. Nobody's been vain enough to say, no, we got it right.
Now, but let me ask you something. If this game was, say, 10-1, 9th inning.
Well, would you want your manager to ask for a review?
Well, I mean, you know, this guy wants to get paid. He wants to get another hit. He's got 2 already today, doesn't he?
He does. He wants a 3rd. Here we go. I'm very surprised that there was enough to overturn that.
Wow.
Really, the whole ball in the glove question is one that I think.
When is it considered a catch?
Yeah, there's a long
when it's in the glove or in the back of the glove, or
it's supposed to be in the glove,
secured by the glove.
Yeah, it's supposed to be in the glove, but it is a base hit for Amarista. They're playing for an extra run here. They've got Walters squaring.
Does he need that big thing to hit? Those are his. I'm assuming those are his. That right there is his signs.
Ooh.
Oh Lord.
He needs it to protect him on that. That's a. This was a cut fastball. Now, did he square at it?
Pete's coming out to find out. I think Andres was telling him to take a look. Maybe he fouled it off.
He never pulled it back, honestly. I mean, I know that the ball hit the guy, but he never did pull it back.
Yeah, he never pulled it back, but he never attempted to bunt it. I think he was hoping it would hit his bat so it didn't hit him in the clavicle.
Yeah, clavicle 1. So now Pat Valleca will be the pinch hitter for the Rockies. Bud Black has a word with him in the on-deck circle before he heads up. Bob McClure is coming out to chat with Joely Rodriguez. Well, Valleca, I would think, is up there to try to do the same thing that Walters did.
Bud Black, smart manager. He put in a righty this time.
He let the ball come toward him. Bob McClure is talking to Jerry Meals, the home plate umpire. Could be any number of things, from the call at first to the last pitch that hit Walters. All right, so Valleca pinch hits for Dunn, hitting .245. He has 13 hits and 53 at bats. Phillies have Luis Garcia warming up in the bullpen. And he bunts it toward third. It's a good bunt.
Hit.
Nice play by Cesar and Cameron Rupp. And Amarista goes over to third base, and Walters goes to second.
Hey, that's a great play by Cameron Rupp. I didn't think he had a chance. Valleca dropped his, I mean, he deadened that ball perfect. Cameron got on it quick. But here's the thing. He runs into Cesar's glove, and Cesar pulls it back. No one was covering third, and Amarista got halfway down the line. I mean, as soon as Cameron Rupp fields that ball, either Blanco has to get back or Joely has to go over. Someone has to be at third base.
Well, the infield is in with runners on second and third. By the way, Major League Baseball has sent out an explanation on the play at first. They said that the baseball had not arrived to the interior of the glove. I think it's, you know, it's one of those that's going to be different tomorrow than it is today. Depends on who's looking at it back up at headquarters.
What you're saying is they're still working out the kinks on this replay thing.
Yeah, I think there's a personality involved in it, you know, from time to time. Different personalities. 0-2.
Yeah, watch this play right here. Now, once that ball gets dead and Blanco has to come in, he's yelling first, but look, watching the play, and now watch Amaristo as the play develops. See it right there to Cesar. Amaristo keeps running down the line. If Cesar didn't eventually turn his head, he might have tried to keep going, because he could have gone as far as he wanted because no one was there.
Yeah, if somebody's at third, at least he holds up there and doesn't tempt them. Over to first base. That's a fair ball, and it goes under the glove of Tommy Joseph, and 2 runs will score. And it goes back to your keys about tightening up your defense. He was trying to get to it quickly and get the runner at home, but in doing so, he allows 2 runs to score. And now it's a 6-1 ball game.
Well, we told you the last one Gonzalez hit, he had to charge, and that one he charged, but it looked like it hit the lip and stayed down. But it's the rule you go by as an infielder: never under, always over. You don't want the ball bouncing or going under your glove. Your glove should be on the ground. Tommy has to just get down lower on that. And even though it hit the lip, still got to be down low.
Oh, it's been scored an error to Tommy Joseph, and no RBIs for Blackmon, but 2 runs do score. Charged to the line of Joely Rodriguez, and Pete Buchanan is bringing in Luis Garcia. Pitching change here at the top of the 9th inning. 6-1 Rockies on top. to Tommy Joseph on a bouncer by Charlie Blackmon has opened this game up to a 5-run lead for the Rockies. So that means they're going to take their closer out of circuit, at least for the time being, put somebody else up in the bullpen. And meanwhile, the Phillies will bring in Luis Garcia to try to get the last couple outs here in the 9th inning. Luis, a 2.53 ERA. This is now his 11th game facing DJ LeMahieu. Oh, 0-1 to LeMahieu. John said before, a big second baseman, 6'4". That's a big second baseman. One ball, one strike. Garcia will face LeMahieu and then Arenado. They're at the top of the 9th inning. I guess that was a split that just slipped out of his hand.
Yeah, it's. You saw the first pitch. Cameron Rupp won that fastball in. He threw it away. Got a strike called. You wouldn't think Blackmon would be stealing here, would you?
Well, he did it earlier in the game, but he is in scoring position. They're up 5, so. Out to right field. Saunders makes the catch. Blackmon tags. He'll go to third. Yeah, the shame about the Blackmon play too is that Joely Rodriguez threw 2 beautiful pitches right before that to get ahead 0-2. And like a lot of the balls that have been hit tonight, it wasn't hit that hard.
No. Like I said, it looked like it just hit that lip and stayed down on Tommy, but
I thought the description that you said though was good. The never high,
never under,
never
always
under,
over.
Always over. One.
Yeah, watch right there. It hits the lip and just stays down. Kind of with that spin on it, kind of bounced left on him too.
Cameron Rupp keeps it around the area, and it's 1-1.
Arenado, first at bat, he hit that ball hard to left field. It hasn't been too pretty for him. He got a feeling this could end in his favor, you would think. This guy's just amazing.
I remember a couple years ago watching their infield. And out there with Larry Bowen. Bo watches a lot of games. So he watched a lot of West Coast games. And he was out watching Arenado take ground balls over third base because he had watched him so much in games. And he just loved everything about his style. That ball is drilled deep to left center field, and it's not coming back. A 2-run home run. It's now 8-1 Rockies. You want to get your crystal ball out and see what happens next?
No.
That is his 12th home run of the year.
That was pretty loud, wasn't it?
Sure was. Watch pitchcast.
Yeah, fastball away. Leaks out center in. And pretty.
So now 8-1 Rockies, and here is Gonzalez, who has 2 hits today. Gonzalez came in hitting .221 and has raised his average to .229 with his 2 hits. That was a majestic home run, too.
That was a far one. You just knew he was, he was upset with himself his last 3 at bats. Had poor swings, chasing balls.
Back toward the middle. Freddie Galvis slides, picks it up and fires, and it's not in time. An infield hit for Carlos Gonzalez. And that's his 3rd hit of the night.
Well, you gotta love that, though.
Yeah, Freddie sprawling all over.
8-1, you're still going all out. And made it close. I didn't think there was any way.
Even though it kicked out of his glove for a moment. All right, now Mark Reynolds, who is 1 for 4 in the game. One ball and 2 strikes to Reynolds.
I mean, you'd assume that they'd throw another one out there, wouldn't you?
I would. Same sort of standard that we saw with Franco. Maybe even throw it a little bit farther. Although you may not have to. I like the location of the other 2.
Yeah, you don't have to throw the perfect one now.
Got him. Another slider. 8 men come to the plate in the inning for the Rockies, and they score 4 more runs. We go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Uphill battle for the Phils. It's 8-1 Colorado. W.B. Mason deliveries of the game. We'll start back in the 3rd inning.
Yeah, not pretty for Charlie Blackmon, but it's a very effective double down the left field line. Fought a ball off, and then he steals 3rd base, and this setup, this grounder right here, that's a routine play for Freddie if the infield's back, but because they have to have the infield in, Because the offense isn't scoring runs, the ball gets through and Blackman scores, and those are our W.B. Mason deliveries of the game.
Well, the hope is that there's some more deliveries in store for the Phils in the bottom of the 9th inning, but this has been another one of those nights. Phillies were 2-7 on the road trip, and they had a lot of these kind of games. Had a lot of close ones too, but a lot of these kind of games.
Yeah, it's just, you know, you try to keep it close. And then, you know, one inning with this team especially, you know, they're quick strike. Have we walked anyone tonight?
Zippo. No walks.
That's what I mean. They're up there hacking. You know what you're getting here with Jake McGee. It's fastball, 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 you would think.
Well, Cesar is 0 for 3 in this ball game after a 6 for 33 road trip. And batting right-handed against the lefty McGee. Fastball, it's 0-1. And so the Rockies acquired McGee from the Tampa Bay Rays before last year for Corey Dickerson. Dickerson's having a fantastic year this year for Tampa. A bit outside.
Yeah, I saw today I don't know what channel I was watching, but they had a split screen with he and Trout's numbers, and they're similar. What would it be like what's this, Trout's fifth year, and he hasn't had a bad year? Like,
it would be
like
remarkable.
Not even like an average year.
It would be remarkable to be Mike Trout. And that's saying something coming from you who played in the big leagues.
It's just astounding to me. Like,
this is his 7th year. Yeah, and
every year gets better.
He's hitting .350 with 14 home runs and 34 RBIs.
And he missed what, 4 or 5 games with the hamstring?
Yep. Here's Freddie Galvis after the strikeout. 4 straight strikeouts for the Rockies pitchers. Down low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Second time this inning that the catchers kind of held that and looked back a little bit. Definitely missed his spot, but it was right around the plate. 2-1 to Galvis.
And that's something I've never understood. You know, if a catcher's setting up away and they throw a pitch in, but it's a strike, and you hear people say, well, he can't call that a strike because he missed his spot. But
I'm with you.
But, like, isn't the umpire just supposed to call it where the ball crosses home plate?
You would think that he's concentrating enough that, yes, he would be able to do that.
And this one's another one. Well, he hasn't been around the plate enough to get that pitch. Well, if it's a strike, it's a strike. You know, McGee coming in with that fastball. Look at that.
And that was a strike. It wasn't called a strike, but it was a strike. Altair takes strike 1. He's 2 for 3. He has 2 of the 3 hits for the Phillies, both doubles. He now has 11 doubles on the season, which takes the lead over Odubel Herrera for the team lead.
Oh, stretch.
11 strikeouts tonight for Rockies pitching. And now it's 0-2 to Altair. 0-2.
This is one of those things, if you're the Phillies, you go in next time you face Jake McGee and you watch where Walters wanted that last fastball. He wanted it in off the plate, and he threw it right down the middle. You know, you wonder if he's a guy that can he get in on righties with his fastball.
Well, there you go. It's the same thing. It's an outside corner again, or tried the outside corner. Hasn't thrown many curveballs in this brief stint of 13 pitches. Over to shortstop, Amarista backs up on it. It's going to be a tough play, and he throws him out. He was able to throw it out to get Altair after getting his bearings, and the Rockies take game 1 of this 4-game series. The bullpen retires the last 6. The pitching staff retires the last 9, and the struggles for the Phils offense continue here tonight as they lose it by a final of 8-1. Well, the young right-hander Jeff Hoffman making the appearance tonight up from the minor leagues. He was dominant for 7 innings, and he's our Chevrolet player of the game.
Yeah, great fastball, commanded both sides of the plate, wasn't afraid to pitch inside, and when he needed strikeouts, he went to that breaking ball. Dominated this Phillies lineup tonight.
He had a lot of life. I mean, that fastball had a lot of life early on. It kind of set the tone. And he's provided us with our Chevrolet player of the game. Well, it's another head scratcher for the Phils. 4-18 in the last 22 games. They lose at 8-1. We'll be back to wrap it up right after this.